can achieve is only limited by what you can dream about.
The farm ponds drying up, the creeks are drying up, wells drying up, everything's drying up.
Efforts to halt the spread of AIDS stepped up this year. The World Health Organization declared it a global problem and spearheaded international programs to combat the deadly disease. The Food and Drug Administration cut through red tape to give quick approval to a promising new drug called AZT. Early studies showed the drug prolongs the lives of those receiving it. Without a cure, estimates are that as many as 3 million people will have the disease in just 5 years.
From tax reform to a taxing time for the president, 1986 proved to be one of the most volatile political years this decade.
It was a political year, the midpoint in President Reagan's final term, and it was a year of political change when the voting booth was as important as the White House and Capitol Hill. President Reagan campaigned long and hard for Republican candidates, but the Democrats won big in November. The Democrats took over control of the Senate and maintained control in the House. That cast doubt on the future of Reagan's policies, but the president vows he would not be a lame duck in his final 2 years. Primaries across the nation focused on local candidates and issues, but gave potential presidential candidates a chance to test their voter appeal. TV evangelist Pat Robertson was a fresh face in politics, but primary voters didn't show great enthusiasm for any of the presidential hopefuls. Followers of extremist Lyndon LaRouche upset some political apple carts, notably Adlai Stevenson Jr.'s bid to become governor of Illinois. The president nominated William Rehnquist, the Supreme Court's most consistent conservative, to succeed retiring Chief Justice Warren Burger. That stirred a hornet's nest of protests from civil rights leaders, women's groups, and others. Rehnquist endured days of hostile questioning in the Senate before confirmation as Chief Justice. Antonin Scalia, another conservative, easily won confirmation to replace Rehnquist. Periodic flaps added fuel to the political fires. President Reagan's new National Security Council chief, Admiral John Poindexter, authored a policy of disinformation about U.S. intentions towards Libya. The news media, riled because it was a victim, asked what was the difference between disinformation and just plain lying. The wheels of government continued to turn. A stepped-up campaign against drug abuse stretched from Washington office buildings, where employees up to cabinet level were asked to take urine tests, to the Bolivian jungles, where U.S. air crews helped local officials try to track down cocaine producers. Federal prosecution of reputed mafia leaders brought a string of convictions and claims that at long last the mob was on the run. The Attorney General's Pornography Commission turned in a controversial report linking sexual films and publications to violence against women. Tax reform is like the weather. Everybody talks about it, nobody does much about it. This year, after a long and often bitter struggle, Congress managed to agree on a tax reform package. In October, President Reagan signed into law the most sweeping tax overhaul in 40 years. The new tax law lowers tax rates for individuals and corporations, but repeals or limits many widely used deductions and credits. Among those who will be paying taxes are some who enter the country illegally. Congress passed a major revision of the immigration laws, cracking down on the hiring of illegal aliens, but offering amnesty and residency to millions of others who arrived before 1982. For the Year in Review, I'm Molly McCoy.
In May, more than 5 million Americans joined hands in a human chain that virtually stretched across the country. The event was organized to shine a national spotlight on the problems of poverty and homelessness. The chain spanned more than 4,000 miles from the wharf of the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California, to Battery Park in New York City. The project raised between $15 and $20 million for the poor, and the first contributions went out to charities in time for Thanksgiving.
America threw a double birthday bash on the 4th of July, a celebration of its own independence, and the Statue of Liberty's first 100 years.
Dear Liberty, had a great time at your birthday party. You looked resplendent, your new torch beaming a welcome over the harbor. For a century, you greeted the tired, the poor, and the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Made a lot of friends that way, and a lot of new American citizens. Naval guns saluted the president as he reviewed the lineup of warships from all over the world. Overhead, a patriotic aerial salute. And down the river, the parade everyone was waiting for. The slow and regal procession of stately ships. Leading the armada was the Coast Guard's bark, Eagle, with a copy of the Declaration of Independence on board. In its wake followed the largest gathering of sail ever seen in this century. An armada of tall ships, slipping quietly past you one by one, like ghosts of the era when you were born. The harbor was fairly jammed with a flotilla of fans, tens of thousands of boats bobbing at your feet, and at least 1 million landlubbers packing the shoreline.
It's gonna be great. Best, the weather, the people, we saw the president, we saw Lady Liberty. Look out. The best time ever. $6.
And everywhere, the souvenirs. But such is the price of fame. Liberty, on the other hand, is priceless.
Tonight, with heart and hand, through whatever trial and travail, we pledge ourselves to each other and to the cause of human freedom, the cause that has given light to this land and hope to the world.
So thanks again, Liberty, for a good time, and happy birthday.
And so we come to the close of another program and another year. We wish you health and happiness in 1987. I'm Lynn Russell.
And I'm Bob Kane. We leave you with a look at some of the faces of 1986. A few of the people who have made news or made a difference in our lives.
These have been the best 15 years of my life.
I took it for years, but I don't have to take it anymore.
And in every port I own the heart of at least one lovely girl.
You see, this old man still has a little magic left in him.
Oh, they just fired Big Chicken.
Comedy! God, I don't know how I do it.
And I am just so happy to be here.
No, I'm shy. Don't be so silly.
There she is, Miss America.
I, Clint Eastwood.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
I got the job.
I'll always be a man of the House of Representatives.
I'm not, pure as a driven snow.
Do you love me?
Oh,